So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And today we are gonna go through probably Beyond Order by Peterson, which is the follow-up book for 12 Rules of Life, or for life. I never ever know, but I guess it is for life. Should I actually be on this side? I think it makes more sense to be here. Let's see. Beyond Order. There we go, there we are, there we do. It is amazing that I do not know where I've stopped. It's always great, I love it. I love it so much. It's insane. Could also actually do this, I guess. Or something. But this would actually make sense to be above here. Well, anyway. Let me see. People are commonly upset by what they try to do. No, this haven't. Into the world, however, your destiny is not an ease. No. Study art so that you can familiarize yourself with the collected wisdom of our civilization. Make a connection to the transcendent prevail. No. We haven't actually gotten that far, as far as I can see right now. As far as, no, things make sense right now. Could actually also do this. This does also make sense. And this doesn't. Well, art teach people to see... Oh yeah. Artists strive to bring something new into clear focus. Yes. Artists don't understand full well. No. Museums. No. Make a connection to the transcendent to prevail when the challenges of life become daunting. Establish a link with what is beyond you. Study art so that you can familiarize yourself with the collected wisdom of our civilization, because people have been working out how to live for a long time. What they have produced is strange but also rich. Use it as a guide. Your wisdom will be grander and your plans more comprehensive. You will consider other people more intelligently and completely. You will take care of yourself more effectively. You will understand the present more profoundly, rooted as it is in the past, and you will come to conclusions much more carefully. You will come to treat the future as well as a more concrete reality, because you will have developed some true sense of time and be less likely to sacrifice it to impulsive pleasure. You will develop some depth, gravitas, and true thoughtfulness. You will speak more precisely, and other people will become more likely to listen to and cooperate productively with you as you will with them. You will become more your own person and less a dull, helpless, maybe even shapeless tool of peer pressure, vague fad, and ideology. Which, and the very last sentence strikes, or is striking for me, being useful, I guess? Does this make sense? Like being a useful person, just having some value for life and for other people and for the world. I think it is a really great goal to pursue, to become more valuable for other people, essentially. I think it makes sense. I think it is good. If it is the only thing there is, well, probably not. Can't I actually just make it smaller? Does this make sense? Doing things like this? Does it make sense? Is it sensical? I think it kind of isn't. But this, I guess, makes sense. Does it? I'm not sure yet. I really am not. Anyway. If you work as hard as you can on one thing, you will change. You will start to also become one thing instead of the jammering multitude you once were. Subjugate yourself voluntarily to a set of socially determined rules, those with some tradition in their formulation and a unity that transcends the rules with emerge. That unity constitutes what you could be if you concentrate on a particular goal and see it through. Once the social world has forced the child to integrate his multiple personalities, he can play with others. After that, he should be ready to engage in the more serious games that make up jobs or professions with the highly constructed expectations, skills, and rules. He must learn those as well as, when older, the dance of the sexes. He must integrate his socialized personality with that of another, so that the couple he makes with that other can exist together peacefully, productively within society over the long term, while maintaining voluntary willingness to do so. This is the dual process of psychological and social integration that accompanies apprenticeship, all associated with the outsourcing of sanity. Adherence, all associated with the outsourcing of sanity. Adherence to this process will make him a socially sophisticated, productive, and psychologically healthy adult, capable of true reciprocity. What I'm seeing there is, and it is a general theme that I have seen in Jordan Peterson in general, and he just clearly stated it: life is not easy, period. And it was never meant for therapists to say, okay, life is easy, just do this, that, and the other thing, and whatnot. This was never quite the case, or should have never been the case quite. Life is difficult, life is hard, but we are also very capable. This is the point, It's not about life being just easy, because it isn't. It is a fact, but we are still really capable, and we're still really able to do a lot. And it's been shown. When it hasn't been shown by you, then it's been shown by some other person. What this might mean for you, well, I do not want to say that you are incapable or whatnot, but we have done it. We as a species have done it. Better to become something than to remain anything but become nothing. If you aim at nothing, you have nowhere to go, nothing to do, and nothing of high value in your life, as value requires the ranking of options and sacrifice over the lower to the higher. When coal is subjected to intense heat and pressure, its atoms rearrange themselves into the perfect alignment characterized as a diamond. This is true for the person just as it is for the gem. Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. Today I have listened to a podcast by Andrew Huberman, the Andrew Huberman podcast. Amazing guy, amazing podcast, also amazing YouTube channel, which essentially is the podcast but in video form. But it really truly is so amazingly and extremely informative, his podcast and his teachings. I even want to say he is professor at Stanford, but what he's talking about, all the topics, they truly are important. They truly are amazingly interesting, at least to me. And today I've been listening to an episode all about the mindset. Huberman often talked about the mindset being something that it's not going to change reality, but kind of your perception of reality. And this was also kind of the point of this episode that I've been listening to. And they were also talking about pressure and adrenaline and stress and whatnot. And stress can be good. Of course, there's also negative stress and whatnot, but stress can also be really good. People saying okay, we grow the most through stress, and now it is really raining. Oh, did not expect that. People go through stress and grow through stress. Just came to my mind. Work as hard as it possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. This is truly the case. Most often we then can see that something pretty amazing can happen and will happen. Something that we then can be proud of. Each retreat increases the possibility of the next retreat. Those pushing forward delight in the power they have no. Each retreat increases the possibility of the next retreat. Those pushing forward delight in the power they have now acquired. Don't really get this one, to be honest. But maybe one of you does. If a tiny minority of people even hypothetically find some words offensive, then what? Do we continue to ban words endlessly? We do the things we do because we think those things. We do the things we do because we think those things important. When we are called upon to do things that we find hateful and stupid, such action makes a mockery of productive work itself. Do not do what you hate. Yes. Especially not as a job, especially not 8 fucking hours or even more a day, 40 hours a week, and so on and so forth. Like, it is just truly nonsensical. There's no point in doing so. The adventure of your life will frustrate and disappoint and unsettle you as you heed the call. This is what a life that is worth living is to be eternally found. I mean, yeah, as funny as it is, at this point in time, I'm done with all my exams. I basically do not have to do anything. Of course, some things I have to do. I'm having to take care of myself, or I'm willing to do so. Sports, also my flat, organizational things, work, yada yada yada. You know, of course, there are some things that I need to do. But what was my point? But yeah, this pressure that I've had during it is always interesting. You know, when I'm having to learn a lot, and when I'm going through very stressful phases of life, then I most often feel actually pretty good about myself and feel pretty good about my situation, about my life, about just in general. Like, dopamine is relatively high then, I'd say. I assume, at least. On the other hand, maybe maybe this is better. I don't know if it is. Not really. I'm still a little bit blown out. Then when I'm just going through times where I do not have to do that many things, you know, I can actually work on myself. I can actually just chill a bit. The contrast is nice, but it gets boring rather quickly. Yeah, and I don't know, like, to some degree I also believe that I'm quite good at handling everyday life and just dealing with my everyday life and just having a good everyday life, whether I'm having to work or don't have to work, whether I do this, that, or the other thing. Like, I don't know, of course, hard times, stressful times, I think they are important, just also because of contrast. You know, this is actually reason enough, I'd say. On the other hand, I also believe in just stress being a growth factor. Like, if I'm having to do something, then I'm, probably sometimes also I'm having to really push myself to get to the certain point that I want to get at or get to. And yeah. With that being said, I'm probably going to see you, or hopefully going to see you the next time. And bye-bye.